Hello, I'm here to talk about all of the different AMA Marine pedestal configurations, and boy do we have a lot of different options available for you. So I'm going to go through all those different options and see if something fits for you. So starting with a pedestal that is adjustable, when you're looking at your bolt pattern under your seat, this is a 7x7 configuration, and that's how you measure it. By that, if you look center to center, you've got a 7x7. And so on the underside of your seat, you may have different models such as 6x6, and that's why these slots, they fit because they're elongated, so you do have some flexibility. Now, along those lines, underneath your seat, again with different branded seats, you would have many different configurations. Some of them is an actual poly board that you screws in, and you don't have any holes, so you just freely screw where you want. The other ones have already holes pre-made, and so you've got to line them up properly. Lastly, some of them have T-nuts, and they're usually 1/4 inch 20 T-nuts that are at specific spots. Usually it causes no issue because they're mounted on a 7-7 configuration. So these seats from AMA, these pedestals from AMA are designed for all of this flexibility. Now, looking at this seat, we've got a 10-inch base on a bell, and we've got manual adjustment. So when you pull, you've got different height configurations, and you can lock them in at any which height you want. So you've got a bunch of slots, and when you lock it down, it'll snap in and lock there. You also have a friction lock at the top. What that means is your seat is swivel, and you can have it easily swivel, or you can have it rather a lot of friction to prevent it from moving from side to side. Now, this particular seat has and let me check my notes, 13 to 17 height adjustment. So it's 13 at its lowest and 17 at its highest. So that is the manual adjustable seat pedestal. Now, we have fixed configuration pedestals. These have a 9-inch base, and let me just point out that we don't supply the screws specifically, and it's a 6-bolt pattern specifically because some people might have longer screws, some people might have access to the underside and they want to put bolts and washers, so they can secure it how they wish. But it usually is a standard, and that standard across the industry makes it neat that the holes, if you're replacing an existing pedestal, the holes should line up. So that being said, let's look at these different height configurations on the fixed mounts. So on the fixed mounts, you have 12, 18, and 24. So 12, 18, and 24. That's the high. Now on these fixed pedestals, they have 90-degree lockouts. This is the 90-degree paddle lock. So what that means is that as you rotate the seat swivel, it will lock out every 90 degree. The usefulness of that is that when you install your pedestal, not only do you have the friction adjustment, but it will lock out in full driver position straight forward. But remember, when you're installing that pedestal, and this is not installed yet, make sure you line up the holes so that you have a direct forward lockout. If you install it crooked, when it's going to be time to look at the seat and install it, you may find yourself locked out in an angle you don't want to have. So that's an important little tip there. So these ones here, all of the fixed ones, have this paddle for a 90-degree lockout. And of course you can lock it sideways or even reverse when you're facing back, if that's something you want. So these are the fixed mounts. And I'll stop there to show you different options that are available that you can actually add on, and everything's available separate. So here is a quick release. It's a plastic with a paddle, and this permits you to remove the seat quickly. Now, this is a full swivel at all times, and it can be installed one way or another, same 7x7 configuration, and it just clips in and locks. So this makes it swivel at all times, and you can have this simply on a seat, or if you want to add just a little bit more height, which is often the case, you can add yourself one of these configurations. Here's another option. Same swivel made out of robust aluminum, but this one has a lock. So it's got sequence lock as you spin it out. So this one swivels at all times. This one here has a locking mechanism, so you have some options. Next, what we have are sliders. The sliders can be bolted. Again, you get some extra height if you wish. And you have the sliding capability. So how the slider works, it's really hardened aluminum, it's really tough stuff, and you've got a paddle with different adjustment teeth. And as you go up and down, or rather front to back, you have a number of different options to lock it out at any slide. This is a full slide that you can put on, and we also have slide and swivel with lock. Just as this one I showed you before, this one here has full slide and lock swivel capabilities. So again, we're adding different options, making it convenient for you. So from the sliders and from the fixed pedestals, we'll go on to the manual adjustable pedestals, such as these, and they're available in different heights as well. These come with the slider already, and if we go through it, we have, as we saw with the earlier one, the manual up and down release. You've got the friction lock for the lower portion of the telescopic. You have the friction lock for the upper portion of the telescopic. You have the 90-degree lockout, and you have the sliding paddle. So you've got a good configuration and a lot of different options on these pedestals, and you've got them in two heights. Let me pull up the heights on these ones. 12 to 16 and 17 to 25 on the high ones. So these are the manual up and downs. From there, we progress to the gas powered. The gas powered ones, are like an office chair. I was just looking for the dimensions so I can give you the heights on these. So again, we have the friction lock, we have the 90-degree lockout, we have the slider, and just like an office chair, these are gas powered. So this one here being the slider, and this one being the power up. So just like an office chair, when you're up, it goes up, and you have to sit down and put some weight on it while you're pulling on the paddle to go down. So this is a very nice option in terms of gas powered as an upgrade over a manual adjustment. Here we have, for large helms, large captain seats that are heavy, we have a larger footprint on a 12-inch base with all of the different options that I just explained, just in a larger configuration. So this one is quite a big pedestal with even higher height adjustments. Next, we have a recessed gas-powered shock. So this one here, you do have to make a hole, and it settles in. It is gas-powered, and these ones have lockouts. It's all the way retracted, so I'm going to put my weight just like an office chair. So what I did is I pushed down and then I locked these two. So as I will release it now, you'll see this adjustment can be done and locked out at any height, and you have a secondary adjustment to make it all the way up. So this here is not to be used as a driver's seat, because these have all swivels at all time. They're usually for passenger seat or for casting seats. So this option is completely different from all the bell mounts that you just saw, because this one has a recessed and removable post. So this one here, the adjustment is, I believe it's 14 to 20. Let me just verify to be sure. Yes, 14 to 20 on the adjustment height. Lastly, I want to take just a minute to show you the shock absorber series. This is quite heavy, quite heavy. Now this is a shock absorber pedestal. So this has amortization. It really crushes down. Full gas strut, complete configuration. Again, you can add sliders. If you wanted to add sliders on it, you can build it up the option. But for someone who's looking for a Super Duty Shock Series seat that crushes down as you're driving, this is it. So this is all the way up, it's a 14 high, and there's a lot of different adjustments. And as you can see, it's fully compatible with all the different bolt patterns that exist out on the market. Now, any additional questions, please contact us. Thank you very much.